Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. And hope you like this video and subscribe. We'll talk about all the available players whose names have popped up in rumor. A lot of them are free agents. I'm going to run down some of them, well, actually a lot of them, in this video. About 40-something names here of players that are going to be on new teams next year, I would think. Like I said, most of them free agents. You know, we all know the big names. I'll go through the big names. A lot of the teams' names that popped up with some players. These are names that I've had written down for the last few days. So I am way ahead of the curve. Way ahead of the curve of John Morosi, John Heyman, all the rest of these dopes. It's just process of elimination who you can figure out what teams are going to pick up what player. So here we go. Let's start at number 1. Shohei Ohtani, show me the money. He's going to get a lot of money. Where's he going to go? Well, funny you should ask. My list of teams are about 11. That's a lot of teams. The Dodgers, they're really the primary team. The Angels, he could possibly go back. The San Diego Padres, although they're having money woes. The San Francisco Giants, desperate to get a star in the Bay Area. The Texas Rangers, with no tax, just off their first World Series. The Atlanta Braves. I put the Atlanta Braves here. Now, they came up as a team. But I do not for 1 second believe that. I think that was floated out there by the Braves to get the Mets involved. The talk is the Mets don't have much of a chance. I'm fine with it. But the fact that the Braves name popped up means that the agent wants the Mets to come in and boosted the money up. Cannot allow what happened the last time with Craig Counsell happened with the player. The New York Yankees. Don't know if he wants to play on the East Coast yet. The Cubs. They're desperate for a big player. The Boston Red Sox. Heard them with another player here. And the Seattle Mariners. I put the Seattle Mariners there for obvious reasons. One, Jerry Dipoto cannot say no to any kind of deal or trade. And obviously with the history there with Ichiro, he might be interested in wanting to go there just to continue a sort of a tradition. But if he goes to some other team, he has a chance to be a little bit more iconic, being a big player of Japanese descent with another team. Juan Soto. Where's Soto going to go? I can't see the Dodgers. The Padres aren't going to make any kind of trade with any West Coast team in the National League. The Yankees we've heard a lot of. The Mets, I haven't heard the Mets talking about. Put them there. Again, the Texas Rangers, the Chicago Cubs. Definitely see that. I don't see the Braves. Certainly don't see the Giants because the Padres aren't trading with the Giants for this caliber player. Maybe Boston. That's certainly a place. Seattle. Like I said, there is no trade that Jerry Dipoto will not make. That is for damn sure. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 2 teams popped up today that I've had on my list for the last 3-4 days. Here's my list of players. I mean, really, all the teams are involved, but the main players in this group are the Mets. Obviously, the Mets are all in on him. The Yankees are all in on him. The Phillies want him. The Rangers, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Red Sox. Red Sox have a close relationship. The new general manager there has a close relationship with Suzuki in Chicago. He's very close to the agent there, and he's also the agent of Yamamoto. So don't be surprised if he went to Boston. But the main teams are the Mets and the Yankees, as far as I can tell. And we're going to see the butting of heads. Who will win out in that situation? Who will give him more money? The Steinbrenners, Hal Steinbrenner, or Steve Cohen? Next up, Cody Bellinger. I've heard 4 teams so far. The Cubs, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Red Sox. We'll see where he goes there. Aaron Nola. These are 3 teams I've heard so far. Now, this is not an updated list. This is my list from yesterday, just so you know. But Aaron Nola, the Cardinals, the Phillies, go back to the Phillies. and the Diamondbacks. Corbin Burnes, the first player, another player that could be traded. I've not heard any specific teams, but I'm going to go run down the teams I think would be interested in him. The Phillies, the Cardinals. Cardinals are desperate for pitching, but I don't know if the Brewers would trade him to the Cardinals. But you never know. The Diamondbacks, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Rangers. Yamamoto will have a domino effect on the pitching market, which might include Corbin Burnes. Willie Adames of the Brewers. I think two teams here, the Dodgers who don't have a shortstop, and also Ohtani will have, the two players on this list and really do the market, will have a domino effect on the rest of the market. It's Yamamoto and Ohtani. I don't see Soto being a domino effect in terms of a player that will affect, the domino effect. One thing will affect another thing, and that'll affect your host up here talking about it, and it'll affect you watching it. So that's the domino effect principle. But that only two players on this list of availability will have a domino effect, Yamamoto and Ohtani. So with this in mind, if Ohtani doesn't go to the Dodgers, they're going to want to need a shortstop because they don't have a shortstop, the Dodgers. So the Dodgers would be in on Adames, and we've heard his name a little bit with the Dodgers last year or so. The Tampa Bay Rays. And you can say, what about Wander Franco? What about him? He might be on the permanent Phantom Zone list. This whole thing with this young woman, this young girl that he was with. We've heard there's been no updates, and I will have an update if I hear something on this channel. Blake Snell, the guy who won the Cy Young Award for the Padres, he'll be off the Padres. And when they interviewed him on MLB Network, they asked him, say, "Oh, what does this mean? You winning a second Cy Young?" And I heard the sound, cha-ching, cha-ching. I've heard 3 teams with him so far. I'm sure there'll be more teams. The Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Cubs. Cubs will be in on him. The Phillies certainly. Jordan Montgomery. I've heard 4 teams so far. 2 teams pretty strongly. The Cardinals, going back to Cardinals. Staying in Texas with the Rangers. The Yankees and the New York Mets. With Matt Chapman, he's another player that's up for free agency. Arizona, I've heard. The Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. It's not been updated. Sonny Gray, 34 years old. Staying in Minnesota, which is probably what he should do. The Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. He'll be a good number 3 starter for some team, even at his age. Eduardo Rodriguez. I've heard with him, the Phillies, the Yankees, and the Mets. I can see him going to the Phillies. I can see him going there. Josh Hader. The 2 biggest teams I've heard him going to are the Rangers and the Phillies. That's what I've heard, and the Diamondbacks. The Phillies could use him. The Phillies would be very very interested in wanting him because they didn't really. Craig Kimbrell really destroyed their season. Marcus Stroman. I've heard Houston, the Diamondbacks, and the Cubs. Let the buyer beware with Marcus. Not great in the clubhouse. Shoto Amanaga, another Japanese import. I've heard the Red Sox, the Giants, and if you want to see someone make a fool out of themselves, just listen to me pronounce a Japanese name or pronounce a Japanese word in English. Jameer Candelario. The Red Sox, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and the Angels. Jung-Ho Lee, the big Korean player. I've heard San Diego, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I've heard the Giants, the Padres, and the Red Sox. Mitch Garver, catcher on the Texas Rangers championship team. The Mariners, the Miami Marlins, and San Diego. The thing about San Diego is that because of this whole thing that happened with them not getting this deal with this broadcasting deal, they're kind of having to pay money down. So I don't know what they're going to do this offseason. And obviously their owner passed away. Lucas Giolito. That guy is made for Tampa Bay, isn't he? I put Tampa Bay just for that reason. Tampa Bay, the Padres, the Braves, and the Dodgers. I mean, if there was a team that he's made to go pitch for it, it's Lucas Giolito on the Tampa Bay Rays. That's a guy who screwed up his free agency big time. And then he made it worse by pitching poorly in Los Angeles. Kevin Kiermaier for the Yankees, the Red Sox, Minnesota, and Miami. I'd forgotten this, but the Mets had talked to him last year when they weren't sure about Brandon Nimmo. He's another guy to be careful of. In terms of just in terms of his coming from the Rays, makes me very nervous. Jorge Soler. The Giants, the Marlins, the Marlins, I guess. Seattle, the Mets, I put the Mets there because they need a bat. And the Angels. Rice Hoskins. Let me see. Miami, Seattle, the Padres, the Cubs, Milwaukee, and the Mets. Teoscar Hernandez, Miami, Milwaukee, and the Angels. Says Lugo. Cincinnati, St. Louis, Baltimore. Harrison Bader. Does anybody care about Harrison Bader? I don't care. Well, maybe if you are a Harrison Bader fan. Let me go back. Boston, Detroit, and the Giants. Okay. J.D. Martinez. The Dodgers, Miami, Seattle, and the Mets. Justin Turner. The Dodgers. Go back to the Dodgers. The Mariners, the Mets, Marlins, and the Diamondbacks. Michael Walker is going to be available. I haven't heard any teams with him. Kyle Gibson. I haven't heard any teams with him. Pete Alonso. The Cubs and Seattle. I would say the Brewers are out because they're going to move on from their team. They're going to break the team up. It seems that's the rumor. Jeff McNeil. I would put Seattle there. The word is that they want to create a lot of contact. They don't want to strike out so much. Jack Flaherty, heard nothing. Yuki Matsui, who is this left-handed reliever in Japan, he's coming over. That's a guy to keep an eye on. He's been a very good reliever there. Any team could use a good reliever. Brandon Belt, the 90-year-old Brandon Belt, see where he goes. Adam Duvall, I've heard the Mets connected him. Stay away, he's 36 years old. Jordan Hicks, I've heard the Phillies, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks. Yuriel Rodriguez, another reliever, but he's from Cuba. I've not seen him. Nobody's seen him. I would assume every team will be in on him. Michael A. Taylor. Boston, Toronto, and the Reds. Tommy Pham. The Yankees, believe it or not, the Angels, and the Brewers. I don't think the Brewers are going to be in on him now. Luis Severino. I've heard Tampa, New York, the New York Yankees back there, and the Brewers. Ahmed Rosario, the former Met, former Guardian, former Dodger. The Giants, Miami, the White Sox, and Oakland. And finally on my list is Tim Anderson, who was not tendered. His option was not picked up by the White Sox. But I'll put the White Sox on this again. Oakland, San Francisco, they need a shortstop. Miami and Tampa. He's made to order for Tampa and Oakland. This is the kind of guy that they can revive his career and then flip him at the deadline, especially the Oakland A's. That is a guy that they would love to have a guy like him, because they could resuscitate his career and then flip him for prospects. As you know, the Athletics are a homeless team, and we have a theme song for them. This is I Ain't Got a Home, and that's who the Oakland A's are. But anyway, let me know what you think about this list. Let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut too, and I'll see you later.